Welcome back to Two Wheel Trends, the channel where we ride, review, and reveal the most exciting motorcycles in the game. Today, we're diving deep into something that's not just a IKEA, it's a legend reimagined. Harley-Davidson has done something incredibly bold for 2025. They've taken one of their most iconic engines from the early 20th century, the Flathead, and brought it roaring into the modern era with a twist that's both nostalgic and revolutionary. If you're a Harley loyalist, a vintage lover, or just someone who appreciates pure mechanical artistry with modern performance, this bike is going to knock you off your feet. This is the 2025 Harley-Davidson Flathead, and this is your ultimate deep dive review. Now, let's begin by getting up close and personal with this beauty. Starting from the front end of the 2025 Flathead is unmistakably Harley. Yet it's been carved with an artisan's touch. The front fascia is a beautiful balance of modern minimalism and retro homage. You're immediately drawn to the circular LED headlamp housed in a chrome-trimmed casing that mimics the vintage headlight buckets of pre-war Harley models. But don't let the retro appearance fool you. This thing is sharp. The LED beam throws a crystal-clear spread on the road, offering visibility that easily rivals even the most high-tech cruisers on the market. The headlamp is flanked by two smaller, bullet-style turn indicators that blink with the warm amber hue. Above that, the handlebars rise in a gentle curve, wide, commanding, and perfectly sculpted for cruiser comfort. They're finished in brushed steel, complementing the matte black fork housing that gives the front an aggressive yet vintage stance. Just beneath the bars, you'll find the instrument cluster, now fully digital but styled to resemble the analog gauges of old. It features a single circular display that shows everything from your speed, RPMs, trip info, gear position, fuel level, and even Bluetooth connectivity indicators. Harley has hidden a ton of tech in this little gauge, but it still looks like it belongs on a bike from 1940. And that's exactly the kind of thoughtful design we love to see. The front fender hugs the large 19-inch wire spoke wheel, giving it a stout, grounded presence. Finished in a rich metallic color palette, whether you choose the heritage red, industrial silver, or the signature Flathead black, the front end screams craftsmanship. The brakes come in the form of twin 300mm discs with 4-piston calipers. There's also ABS and Harley's Reflex defensive rider system tucked in there, giving you confident stopping power with modern control. From the moment you set eyes on it, the front end tells you this isn't just another cruiser, it's a time machine engineered for 2025. As we slide over to the side profile, the 2025 Flathead becomes even more of a visual treat. This is where Harley's designers really flex their muscles, sculpting a machine that manages to look vintage while hiding a thoroughly modern chassis underneath. The overall silhouette is low, long, and lean, a classic bobber proportions but with a subtle modern edge. The tank is the star of the show. Teardrop-shaped with signature Harley script. It's not just a fuel reservoir, it's a statement. The paint has depth and shimmer, the kind of luster you only get when someone hand finishes a piece. You'll notice the flush-mounted fuel cap, and if you look closely, you'll spot a laser-etched Flathead 2025 insignia subtly engraved on the left side of the tank, a nod to the past, a wink to the present. The insignia is perfectly on display, finished in black powder coating with bronze highlights and exposed cooling fins that pay homage to the original 45 cubic inch Flathead design. But instead of a purely air-cooled system, Harley's engineers have integrated an oil-cooled system that keeps things cool while maintaining the illusion of old-school simplicity. The exposed pushrod tubes, the wide cooling fins, and the distinctive V-twin shape all scream heritage. But the refinement is miles ahead of anything from the past. The pipes snake out from the cylinders into a dual exhaust system that dips low, hugging the line of the frame and finishing in a pair of fishtail tips that sound just as good as they look. This side profile captures the soul of motorcycling, and nothing excessive, nothing out of place, just raw mechanical beauty. The mid-mounted foot controls are ideally placed for comfort and control, allowing riders to sink into the plush solo saddle that sits just 26 inches off the ground. The seat is another tribute to Harley's heritage. Wrapped in leather with visible stitching and a slight scoop at the rear, it's both comfortable for long hauls and stylish enough to be the centerpiece of any garage. Swing arms, fender struts, and the visible parts of the frame are all powder-coated in matte black, creating this sleek continuity from front to back. Moving to the rear, the design remains consistent and compelling. The rear fender is short, trimmed, and hugs the 16-inch spoked wheel tightly, creating a tidy tail end that's quintessentially bobber. The taillight is a slim LED strip that sits just below the edge of the fender, casting a red glow that's minimalist yet effective. Rear indicators are again bullet style, mounted on short stalks just outside the fender struts. The license plate is side-mounted on the left side, in true custom cruiser fashion, giving the back a clean, uncluttered look. The rear suspension is cleverly disguised. At first glance, you'd think it's a hardtail, just like the original Flathead bikes, but there's actually a hidden monoshock tucked under the seat, offering preload adjustment and a surprisingly plush ride for a bike that looks this raw. Every inch of the rear end has been meticulously planned to evoke vintage charm without sacrificing modern comfort. Now let's talk about what really makes this beast move. The heart of the 2025 Flathead is a 1350cc V-twin engine that pays tribute to the original Flathead in appearance but is totally re-engineered for today's riders. Harley's calling this new motor the FHX 1350, and it's a masterclass in balancing nostalgia with innovation. It still uses a side valve layout in a symbolic sense, but make no mistake here, this engine is using modern valve timing, electronic fuel injection, and ride-by-wire throttle. It pushes out around 85 horsepower and a meaty 105 pounds-to-feet of torque. And while those numbers might not shatter any records, the delivery is what makes it special. Torque comes in earlier and sticks around through the rev range, giving you that immediate punch in the chest the moment you twist the throttle. The engine note is pure Harley. Deep, thumpy, rhythmic, a mechanical heartbeat that shakes your bones and warms your soul. Harley has tuned the exhaust to mimic the old Flathead cadence, and the result is something you just don't hear on other modern bikes. It's raw but refined, noisy but controlled. Paired with the 6-speed transmission that's geared for both low-end grunt and highway cruising, the Flathead feels surprisingly versatile. Whether you're lane splitting through traffic, cruising the coastline, or carving through country back roads, the bike feels planted and predictable. On the road, performance is exactly what you'd want from any retro cruiser. The low center of gravity makes it feel stable even at lower speeds, and the steering is light enough to inspire confidence in corners. Harley has equipped the Flathead with a new ride mode system: a standard, sport, and vintage. Standard gives you balanced throttle and ABS response. Sport tightens everything up, giving you snappier throttle and reduced traction control intervention. But vintage mode is the real gem. It softens the throttle response, dials in the exhaust note to mimic the Flathead's original lope, and even adds a little rumble to the idle. It's not just a gimmick, it changes the character of the bike completely. Suspension performance is solid for the cruiser segment. The front forks are 49mm telescopic units with cartridge internals, giving you enough damping to soak up bumps without losing feedback. The hidden rear monoshock offers 3 inches of travel and makes highway cruising smooth as butter. The tires are vintage look but use modern rubber compounds, giving you grip without compromising the aesthetic. The brakes are equally impressive, with dual front discs and a rear single disc providing enough stopping power to handle this 650-pound machine with ease. The Reflex defensive rider system ties it all together, with cornering ABS, traction control, and hill hold assist, adding layers of safety without taking away from the raw riding experience. And now, let's talk price. The 2025 Harley-Davidson Flathead starts at $17,999 for the Bass model in industrial silver. If you want the Heritage Red or Flathead Black paint options, that bumps you up to $18,499. Add the optional leather saddlebags, bar end mirrors, and custom exhaust upgrade, and you're looking at around $20,000 for what you get a fully modern bike wrapped in the spirit of one of Harley's most iconic engines. It's actually well positioned in the current cruiser market, and considering it's being made in limited production, it's bound to become a collector's piece in the years to come. So, Who is this bike for? It's for the rider who respects history but doesn't want to sacrifice comfort, safety, or performance. It's for the garage builder who can appreciate the craftsmanship of the past but still wants a factory-warranted ride. It's for the long-time Harley fan who remembers the stories their grandfather has told. And for the new age rider who wants something different from the sea of plastic and pixels. The 2025 Harley-Davidson Flathead isn't just a motorcycle, it's a love letter to American motorcycling. If you've ever wondered what it would feel like to ride the past into the future, the 2025 Flathead gives you that answer. It's not trying to be the fastest or the lightest, it's trying to be the most soulful ride in your garage. And in that mission, it succeeds like no other bike in Harley's lineup today. That's it for today's ride here on Two Wheel Trends. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss out on any of our future reviews, road tests, and two-wheel adventures. Got questions about the Flathead? Drop them in the comments, so we'll be hanging out down there and chatting with you all. Until next time, ride safe, ride free, and keep the rubber side down.